Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Ailarra. Thanks so much for dropping in for this Stitch With Me 2, take 2. I don't know why I'm so awkward behind the camera. Put me in front of the camera and I can talk for an hour and a half, no problem. Behind the camera and I turn into an awkward hot mess. I actually had you attached to the chair that I was stitching in, and that did not work. Every time I moved, you moved, and I was getting nauseous just watching my own screen. So this is something a little different. I have not worked on this yet in my since I started Flosstube. It's been over a year since I've worked on this. My 1-year Flosstube anniversary is coming up. And I had the urge to dig this one out, so I thought I would. This is my biggest stamped cross stitch kit. I got this kit because I saw Julalak working on the beaded version on her Flosstube channel. I will link her below. She is out of Thailand. Most of her videos are Stitch With Me's that she doesn't talk in them. Mostly ambient noise, just stitching sounds. Some of them have piano. Very, very relaxing. I love her channel, especially when I just can't people anymore. And I apologize. We do have crickets in the house at the moment. It is that time of year where they start coming in again. So if you hear them in the background, kind of loud, it's because they're hiding in the house somewhere. But yeah, I had the urge to dig this one out. I thought it would be a nice one to work on while I try and talk and stitch at the same time. It is the 11 count version, so it's 150 centimeters by 64 centimeters, 600 by 230 stitches. I do have a start on this, but it's in the bottom left-hand corner, which I have since starting this really not really despise starting from there, but I prefer the top left down. So I went ahead and that's how much I got done before I realized I was going to make everybody sick trying to watch this video. If you do watch videos like this, instead of, stitching along like you should be doing. So I will try to just talk from the top of my head. But I did pull up a website that has a bunch of tag questions in case I get stuck, because there's not going to be any music in this video. I figured I would just chatter along for a little while with nobody and everybody for company, and hopefully you don't find this too boring. I didn't realize how block stitching type of stitching this was when I pulled this out and moved to the top until I put it in the Q-snap, and I was like, oh well, that's what I decided to work on. That's what we're going for. But I don't know, can you even hear him? The microphone in this, I've been complaining about this every video since I got this phone, but the microphone, it's not very good. I'm hoping you can hear me okay, and then it's not too muffly or too tinny. I do have a microphone picked out that I want to get, but I needs to save some pennies for it. So we will just have to go with stock for now. We are getting ready for an event on our property this week for my husband and I's business. So he's been busy this week, running around like a chicken with his head cut off. The man does not know how to not work, but he definitely has a lot on his plate on a normal day. We love doing these events, but it's definitely time consuming to plan and get everything prepared for. So he actually went to a friend of his industrial kitchen and did a bunch of pre-cooking and prep to get ready for this weekend. So I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm actually going to end up able to camp up on the hill at our campsite a couple of nights this time. My kids are here this weekend. My oldest is off of work and agreed to stay with him here at the house so that I could do my thing. And then their homecoming is Saturday. And I think my middle son is going to do the babysitting thing on Saturday. So I love the fact that my oldest can drive. I mean, I feel kind of bad for taking advantage of it, but our events does have an open bar. I mean, we're all, adults in our, not all, but most of us are adults in our, I'd say 40 is probably the average age of the group that gets together. So there's never really like crazy partying, but we do enjoy our beverages, our adult beverages. For some people, especially like me, we only really get to not adult a few times a year. And this is a safe place to do it because, everybody crashes in their hammocks at the end of the night. So don't have to worry about anybody being stupid and getting into an accident or whatever. So I don't have to worry about, if I wanted to have a couple drinks, I don't have to worry about timing that per se so that I can go get my kids because my oldest is going to be chauffeuring. It's very nice. I don't know how far I want to take this line. I just felt like going in a row. It's probably really boring, but hey, it's a stitch, right? It is technically Wednesday now, September the 28th. So obviously I was able to do pretty close to my 1 week interval for this video. If you watched my last update, I had talked about wanting to get on this new schedule and have had success for a couple of days running. Well, the very next day, what is happening there? What is happening? Trying not to flip my work, but I gotta see what's going on. Apparently nothing is going on. Why did it do that? Oh, that's on the neck. That's on the stitch before that. Okay. Hold, please. I don't know why frogging takes so much concentration from me, but it does. Okay. So this is using this like rayon satiny floss, and it is so finicky. If you have any projects that use this stuff, you can see my floor. Highly recommend getting you some beeswax and conditioning your thread because, man, this makes this stuff usable. It looks very pretty, but it is very, very, like, it frays like crazy and doesn't like to pull through very well. So you almost have to condition it in order to work with it easily. What was I saying? Schedule. So the very next day I go to switch gears from working on our business as a couple to working on Ailarra Designs for like late afternoon, early evening before dinner. And my husband was not on the same page. He was starting to stress because I had some builds to get done before this event for people that are going to be here. And he was starting to worry that I was not going to get them done. I'm pretty accurate when it comes to once I have everything prepped, how long it takes me to make stuff. I have it down pretty well, but he was stressing anyway. So I actually got pretty upset as far as like just feeling defeated, and not being able to put any focus still on Ailarra Designs, you know, because I felt guilty. I didn't want to just not honor how he was feeling and, you know, stressing about getting everything done. And he understood that he upset me. He did not understand why. And it was actually 2 days before I was really able to formulate how I wanted to approach it with him. I can talk to the camera, no problem, but man, face to face and things that I feel like are a confrontation for me are much, much harder for me to do. And so, yeah. I have never, quote unquote, let him watch my YouTube channel before, and he's respected that. I told him he's like, yeah, because you talk about me. No, I mean, I do, but nothing bad. Not until now. No. But I felt like I had talked about everything that was bothering me in that video. So I told him, I was like, I need you to watch my last video. And he was like, is it going to put me to sleep? I was like, I don't know. He's like, no offense, but you know, I know you love your stitching, but I don't know how much stitching stuff I can take. I was like, well, just try and watch it and listen between the stitches, so to speak, instead of, you know, between the lines. Anyway. And I think he actually got a little bit surprised. He was semi-entertained by the video, even though, you know, when I was talking about stitching, he was like, yeah, there was enough stuff to keep me from falling asleep. So yeah, I had him watch that video, and he does not have the mental health concerns that I do. He recognizes when I'm struggling, but he does not understand why I struggle. He may have a bit of anxiety, but that could just be because people and having to people. But when it comes to like depression and things like that, he definitely is not, he just doesn't understand. And it's not because he doesn't try, it doesn't want to, I should say. If you don't struggle with mental health issues, it's extremely hard to understand. I've had several people, my friend, one of my best friend from high school, we've grown apart over the years, but, you know, she told me once, it's been a few years since I've talked to her face to face, but she once told me that she wanted to apologize because when we were in school, she thought I was just, I can't remember exactly how she put it, not being dramatic, but kind of being dramatic. She was like, but then I had my kids and I got postpartum depression. She was like, and I'm so sorry, I didn't understand. And it was just one of those things where, you know, if you don't have to deal with it yourself, it's very hard. It's very hard. But yeah, so I had him watch that video. And then we started talking about why I feel like I need to have the breaks in activities and how I can't just focus on one thing all the time. I mean, I can hyper focus. I talked about this in my video, but but that it's not super healthy for me to do that. And, we talked about goals and what he would be comfortable with as far as making sure that our business stays a priority. And, I was like, well, I am trying to help earn the money too from, this bag business. I'm not just goofing off on my off hours. I'm also trying to contribute, but that in a way that helps make me feel fulfilled as well. Because, I love our business. I love doing what I do with our business, making the gear. But it's his baby. It's his brainchild. It's his dream. And to be able to have something of my own dream, if you will, kind of means a lot to me too. So once we talked about all that, I think he felt a lot more comfortable with what I was trying to do. But that stress from that was just enough to trigger a, I don't know, we'll just call it a sleep episode where the next, I haven't been able to sleep before like 4:30 in the morning since. So that's been a little frustrating. I think what I'm going to try and do is like kind of adjust my sleep, how do I want to say this words? Basically the alarm system that I created, I'll just shove it, I'll just adjust it however many hours I need to, because I'm still, basically sleeping like 8.5, 9 hours. It's just not the right time again. But yeah, we'll do that. And I think once this week is over, once this event, because my schedule was going to have to kind of go out the window for this event anyway, just because of, everybody being here, and it tends to be pretty late nights around the fire, yada, yada, yada. Not working, obviously, while the event's going on. So, yeah, and I think the weekend after the main event, there's another small event as well. I don't know. I don't know if that's still going to happen or not. We'll see. So yeah, I'm not giving up. I think the improvement that I saw in myself just in the 2 days that I was able to really focus and use and utilize that schedule, and what I got done, especially with my bags, was I felt good. I felt really good. And I feel like, I was talking about having that schedule also helped with my medicine schedule, which is really important. And that's been kind of going out the window again. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's just a minor setback. It doesn't have to go out the window just because I ran into a speed bump. It's okay. It is okay. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. We're all fine here. My midget got a COVID vaccine booster last Friday. And the last time he got vaccine, like when he got his first COVID shot, he also got like the MMR vaccine, the polio, the mumps, measles, rubella. There was 3 shots he got that day. And that was still a little fresh. We're walking in with the nurse to the room. And in all her wisdom, she pipes up, "Okay, so I see you're here for your COVID shot today." And my little man started screaming, "I don't like shots. I don't want another shot." The nurse had to bear hug him. And I mean, this kid can scream. But what was kind of funny, not in a ha-ha way, kind of in a ha-ha way, as soon as she poked him with that shot, he stopped screaming and said, oh, that wasn't bad at all. That didn't really hurt at all. It was like, so yeah, I could have kind of slapped that nurse for saying the word. Don't say the word after the kid's old enough to stop getting shots in the thighs, because then they remember. But he took it like a champ. And his arm really wasn't even that sore. We had a little bit more drama when the Band-Aid had to come off 4 days later. Because I finally said, look, dude, you have got to lose this Band-Aid. But that's where I got my shot. I know, honey, that you don't need to have the Band-Aid on anymore. You didn't need to have the Band-Aid on like 15 minutes after you got the shot. So yeah, we had some histrionics there. That poor kid. I'm excited. He is going to be 5 in February. And I live in Ohio. And I don't know if this is the same throughout the United States, but in Ohio, there is an actual law that states a child may not start kindergarten prior to a certain birth date. And there's like, if your birthday falls on or before yada, 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 and you're 5, then, yeah, there's very strict stipulations on when a child can start kindergarten. And unfortunately, all of the preschool curriculums around here were tuition-based, and we could not justify or afford that particular expense. So he did not have any kind of preschool. And so yeah, it's just been kind of a waiting game until I can start registering him for school around here. And was sort of debating on whether or not I wanted to even put him in public school, like in-person school, because there are some online programs as well. And the politics in our school system are kind of shady. But supposedly it is a very good program. So my husband and I talked about it, and we're going to try him out. My biggest concern is that he's very very energetic. I don't want to say hyperactive, but he is very energetic. He does get distracted very easily. But he is so smart. He is so smart. Like scary smart. And I'm so afraid that he is going to be bored. And that boredom is going to translate into disruption because of how energetic he is. So I'm just really hoping that the teachers can keep him engaged enough to not have to worry about disrupting any of the other students. I had the same issues when I was in school. I accelerated very quickly, but the school that I went to did not have any kind of advanced programs until like middle school, which is like 5th, 6th, 7th grade around. And I don't know what that translates to in other countries, but yeah. So we thought we'd give it a shot and see how it worked. And if it didn't work, we'd look into other programs for him, just to try and make sure that he is stimulated well enough in school that he keeps learning and doesn't get bored with learning. So my concerns and thoughts are with our friends in the south at the moment. Hurricane Ike is poised to, and I think it may have actually hit landfall. My husband's the one that kind of keeps track of the Weather Channel and all that fun stuff. I don't know. Am I too far away from you guys? I feel like with as wide as I'm stitching, it might be a little harder to zoom in. So I don't know. Hopefully you guys are. Sorry, I didn't mean to shake you. Okay, that's fantastic. An alarm is going off. And the way my camera is clamped, I can't make it go away. Oh well. Okay. But like, I know Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter, is in Tampa. Daydream Stitcher is in Florida somewhere. Stephanie from So Clever Creations is in Florida. Alan Gator Stitcher's in Florida. Like, there's so many Flosstubers that I know that are in Florida. I'm kind of concerned about their safety. The Stitchin' in the Springs retreat is coming up, or no, kind of, the beginning of November, but I'm starting to really get excited about it and looking forward to it. My friend Kristen is coming down from Canada, so I'm really looking forward to having her down here. And Suki's going to be coming over from where she's at. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to having some more some faces to get to know in person a little bit more. My beads have not shown up yet for the Dark Queen of the Earth style. I still don't know. I ordered some Sulky Sliver off of Amazon, and it was on special, so I hope it's the right weight. We'll see when it gets here. But I have decided that I should not grid. I need to grid. And my fancy ladies in any kind of fabric that I am using that I can't use my friction pens on, I need to grid another way. So I ordered some of that Sulky Sliver. Oops. Should be here on Monday. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and frog that section that basically, I don't know if I can frog just that section or if I have to frog everything that I put in already. I mean, it's only like 100 and some stitches, but still, frogging on 28 count is not fun. But go ahead and frog that and then get it gridded so I can start my birthday present from Kristen, that white horse from Pain Free Crafts. And go ahead and grid the fabric for Dark Queen of the Earth. Dark Queen of the Seas is actually going pretty okay. I did have to fudge a little bit on the last part that I did because I miscounted a couple of times. And it's not a full coverage, so really you can kind of fudge it. It's not too hard to fudge it. But okay, I have this Hank that came. Oh my god, that alarm is still going off. Go away. I hope that didn't mess up, like, you guys hearing me. But yeah, this is the Hank that came because so much of this color. I've never actually had to work with something like, oh, okay. So I guess it just pulls apart and okay. Oh, that's not good. Random strand that pulled out. Okay, we won't use that thread. Okay. What was I saying? I have no idea what I was saying. Guys, what was I talking about? Don't know, distracted myself. Yeah. I don't know what to do with that. Just sit down there. Okay. All right. My wax looks a little like it's seen some better days. I have a new piece too, but I don't want to be wasteful just because it looks funky. Okay. Wax makes it so much easier to thread this stuff too. Okay. Dope. Did you see that? Pulled it right out of my hand. It's taking a lot more concentration than it really should. Trying to think if there's anything else not tag question that I want to talk about. I just realized, and sorry, not sorry, I just realized my needle minder's been flipping you off this whole time. Sorry. I'm not moving it. Because I don't swear on my channel, or very rarely, and mildly. I really try to be conscious of leaving the filter in place, but that's really me. I'm a sailor. So if we ever meet in person, I'll just apologize now. No, I do try to keep the filter in place, especially when I don't know someone very well, because I try to be respectful of, you know, others' feelings on it. My filter goes in place with my parents, that's for sure. All right, let's do some tag questions. Why not? And you guys help me out too. If you have any burning questions or whatnot for me to do in future Stitch With Me's, feel free to leave them in the comments. I don't mind talking about pretty much anything as long as it's not super, like, identifiably personal. If that makes any sense. Oh my god, this stupid alarm. Sorry. Shaky, shaky. Okay. Let me see if I can find not stupid ones. Have you ever met anyone famous? Not really. Dave Chappelle lives in the town that the stitching retreat that I'm going to in November is, but I've never actually met him. I think the closest was I worked at a doctor's office, and the local news anchor actually was one of our patients. And I didn't recognize her at first when she came in, but she definitely had, like, man, you knew she was somebody who knew exactly what she wanted in life and got it. She was very poised, very charismatic. That's the word. I think I even said something about that to her. And when she left, one of my coworkers was like, you know who that was, right? No? When she told me, I was like, oh, that would explain why she carried herself as well as she did, wouldn't it? Would you like to be famous? Not really. I think my little corner of the YouTube world is quite enough for me. Thank you very much. I am just me, and I don't know that. Yeah, fame would be weird. If you could change one thing that happened, I assume to myself, what would it be? Nothing. I wouldn't change anything because my really stupid mistakes that I've made in life has brought me where I am. Like, seriously, the stupidest thing I've ever done in my entire life, I would never have met my husband if it had not happened. And that is a sad thought indeed. If I could change it and still have everything come out the way it did now, sure. Be nice to have that off my plate, but it is what it is, and it make me who I am today. If you could live anywhere, where would that be? I don't know. I haven't really... No, I have not. I haven't traveled enough to know where I would want to live. Like, there's that whole grass is greener on the other side kind of thing. I don't think I could comfortably say I would want to live anywhere else without knowing what I was getting myself into, if that makes sense. Somewhere closer to a beach, that would be nice. My husband and I joke North Carolina here in the United States would be nice to live to because we could live right between the beach and the mountains and be about an hour away from both of them. Because he is a mountain man and I am a beach bum. I love the ocean, but I don't know if I would want to actually live next to it. Especially with, you know, like hurricanes coming through and all. Although even as far inland as Ohio is, we still get remnants of hurricanes come up through here every once in a while. Usually it's just a little bit of rain left over, but it was about 10 years ago now, Hurricane Ike came up here and like blew the roof off of everything. That was a bit crazy. Sorry, I had to poke the alarm again. Apparently I forgot to adjust those late night ones. Have you ever been in the snow? Yes. I grew up in a very seasonal climate. I don't know what to call it. I don't know what to call this kind of area that I live in as far as weather goes. Like you have temperate climates and desert climates and yada yada, but I don't know what to call this one that I live in. What is this one doing? Why is that hole there? Okay, anyway. So we have very distinct spring, summer, autumn, and winter seasons. Now, it doesn't snow as much as it did when I was a little girl, that's for sure. Thanks, climate change. Our winters are definitely a little bit warmer than they used to be. We're a little more extreme. Like seems like it gets colder, like bursts of cold. But it really doesn't snow as much as I remember it snowing. I mean, I know when you're a kid, you know, a few inches of snow seems like feet because of how short you are, but yeah, we really don't get very much snow anymore. But yeah, I grew up around it. Faux show. No. How many pairs of shoes do you have? I don't know, but not because I have so many I can't count them. I don't care. I am not a shoe person. Like, I have my tennis shoes that are my everyday, need to cover up my whole feet kind of shoes. I have my hiking boots, which I need a new pair because they started leaking this past trip in the mountains. I have my flip-flops for the summer. I think I still have a pair of winter boots. And I have like random strappy shoes for if and when I ever get dressed up, which is not very often at all. At all. So, yeah. Not a shoe girl. Do you like TV talent shows? I like watching the highlights of TV talent shows on YouTube. Does that count? Like, especially like the voice ones. Those are fun to watch. I do wish I could sing like that. Like the good parts. Oh, I gotta pause you. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Whew, scared the crap out of me. We have a early camper that came in for the week, and my husband forgot to leave the door unlocked, and when she tried to get in, it scared the crap out of me. Because when we have, you know, singletons or, you know, just a couple of people here, we don't mind if they come to the house to use the restroom. Now we've got porta potties coming in for the weekend, so they'll have to use those once those come in. But yeah. Anyway. Where was I even? Oh yeah, okay. I think I answered that one. What's your opinion on reality TV shows? They're not. I think they're staged just like everything else for entertainment purposes only. I think they're not scripted actors, or maybe they're scripted, but I don't think they're actually like honest to goodness actors. Of course, I could be wrong on that too. Could be a total lie. Do you like scary movies? I have to be in the mood for a scary movie. I am never in the mood for a slasher film because I pass out at the sight of blood. Well, I pass out at the sight of trauma. And those shows, movies definitely count as trauma when it's a slasher film. I do like me a good ghost story. But I don't like ghost stories for the sake of like gratuitous scaring, like jump scares. So I go through a phase every 10 or 15 years or so that I'll watch a bunch of scary films, but then eventually I'll have trouble sleeping with the light off. So I have to stop watching scary movies. I do enjoy a good zombie film. I think World War Z is probably, although that's not really scary per se, is dramatic. Have you ever fired a real gun? Yes. We are definitely Second Amendment supporters in this household. We keep, obviously, if you've been with me for a while, you know I have quite a few children under the roof at various times, especially with the little guy. Every single gun that we own, or that my husband's father owns, is under lock and key at all times, unless it is being actively used and in an adult's possession. Even the ammunition is locked up. So gun safety is a huge thing in our household. We don't allow like toy guns for the sake of toy guns. Kids aren't allowed to point them at people, blah 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 blah. My husband does hunt for food. We live on a property that is exempt from city gun ordinances because it's an agricultural property. And yeah, we supplement our meat intake with the deer he hunts for. And apparently I am either a really good beginner's luck kind of person when it comes to firing a gun, but apparently I'm a mean sharpshooter when it comes to guns. I think my favorite that I've fired so far is a Magnum. I can't think of anything but the plain 747. Yep, out of my head. 57, 5. I know some of you guys are screaming at the camera or the screen right now. Anyway, it's the handgun with the really long barrel, and it's really fun to shoot. And apparently I'm really good at it. Last film you watched? Oh, I'm terrible at titles and names. Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris was the last movie I watched in the theater. My oldest works at the theater, one of the local movie theaters. And we had a mama-kid date, and we went to go see that movie. I'm really excited. They are releasing Avatar, re-releasing it in the theaters for this week and next week in anticipation of the release of Avatar 2, which I'm so excited about. Oh my god. In my first video, I said my favorite film was something. It's such a lie. My favorite film is Avatar. I own like 6 copies of that movie, different editions and director's cuts, and yeah, I think the only one that I don't own is the 3D edition because I don't, well, at the time that I was buying those movies, I did not own a 3D TV. Yeah, my TV that my father-in-law has in the house is 3D. I should totally get that movie. So I think we're going to try and go see that next week. Next Tuesday? Wednesday? Thursday? I don't know. Next week sometime. Oops. Bonked you with my head. Sorry. Do you like roller coasters? I do. To a certain extent. If they are too long. Like I live 40 minutes, maybe even half an hour from Kings Island. It's one of the theme parks around it, like the theme park in the area that I live in. And they have the Beast at that, if you're not familiar, is the longest wooden roller coaster. It's the world record holder. And they made the Son of Beast. This was, I don't remember what year they built this. My ex-husband actually was on the crew that was building it. And it was the only wooden roller coaster with a loop. It might have even been the longest one, or like close second to the Beast itself. But that sucker is so long, or was so long, that I got motion sick on it. I get motion sick, and it was long enough that it triggered it. It was fun. I was able to ride it before it was shut down and then subsequently dismantled. Poor engineering design caused some issues with that, so they actually ended up having to tear that down. So, and I'm sad. My favorite roller coaster ever was the Vortex, and that's showing its age. I don't know if, I think they've taken that down or have decommissioned it or will be. I can't remember if it's been a while since I've been able to go, but have you ever cried at a film? Yeah. Yeah. I'm one of these people that can cry at like a tissue commercial. If they aim to pull emotional strings, I will be a victim. Because I guess I'm just empathetic. Ooh, what is happening with the focus? Sorry, guys. Come on. I've tried to do the thing where it focuses always on the canvas, but I don't know if it's cooperating very well. I think Titanic was probably the most emotional movie that I ever went to, and it wasn't because he died, because she was too stupid to get him up on top of the door with her. No, I was very, very upset at the realization of how many people died because so many people were selfish. I mean, I know they didn't have proper or adequate lifeboats for the amount of people on the ship. But they did it such a disservice to the people that could have been saved. Just breaks my heart. That movie very much drove it home as to the amount of needless death that happened on that ship. On an accident that should never have happened. Anyway. Tangent. Sad tangent. Sorry, guys. Let's see. I need to scroll down because most of these are, like, stupid. Okay. If you were offered to become a superhero, what would your power be? Well, I think I've had the power of invisibility for enough time in my life that I would skip that one. I think it would be, for me, flying. I would want to fly. That would be my superpower. I remember having the flying dreams when I was growing up. I'm actually kind of sad that flying dreams never happen anymore as an adult. And I read somewhere, I don't remember where I read it or if it was like a legit article or whatever, but I remember reading somewhere that flying dreams and falling dreams tend to only occur in childhood. Is that true? Can anyone debunk that? Have you had a flying dream as an adult? Falling dream, anyone? Anyone? Bueller? And I used to have flying dreams all the time, and it was awesome. I could always tell when I was getting ready to wake up because I would have trouble staying, like I couldn't fly anymore. Like I was losing my power when I was waking up. And I couldn't steer. I couldn't stay high enough. Could do without the falling dreams, man. Those were rough. Getting jolted awake by that fall. Ugh. What would your superhero name be? Oh, Lara the Stitcher. No, I'm just kidding. Superhero name. Depends on what my shtick would be. The Flying Stitcher? I don't know. What's the matter, Bubba? You were just out not too long ago. Puppy's whining at me. What's the matter? I'm not going to bed yet. You're gonna have to deal with it, dude. He's probably like, Mom, why aren't we going to bed? I have a loop there. I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna have to tighten all that down. Sorry, I know you can't see what I'm doing at the moment, but I gotta tighten that loop down. Hush, buddy, hush. Come here. What's the matter? You don't like that I'm talking to the people? Okay, I'm gonna have to frog it up a little bit. Oh, that was the loop I was flirting with, and then I found a different one. Lovely. That's another thing with this rayon floss or satin floss or whatever you want to call it. It tends to not want to pull through as easily and like lay flat on the back. There could be no knots and it still just doesn't pull all the way through. Sorry, that stupid alarm keeps going off. Tell me it's time to go to bed or something. Where are we at? We're at an hour. I will knock you around. See if you're paying attention. There, did I get it? That was it. Okay. Do we want to do a couple more questions? Can you tap dance? Nope. I can circle dance. That's about the only dance I know. You know, when you girl puts her arms around the guy's neck, and the guy puts his hands on the girl's waist, and they just kind of wobble in a circle. That's my specialty. That's what I can do. My husband has no rhythm either. I don't know if he could dance to save his life, because he has no rhythm. Can you solve a Rubik's Cube? Nope. When I was young, the Rubik's Cubes still had stickers on them. Yeah, we would peel the stickers off and solve it that way. Feel bad for anybody who actually knew how to solve those things and got a hold of those. Yeah. I mean, now we understand it's a math thing. But no, I'm not good at those. What was your last dream about? Cooking. I was trying to figure out what to cook for dinner. How adulting is that? Normal, boring, like, can your dream be any more boring? What am I going to cook for dinner tonight? Can you juggle? Nope. Way too clumsy. Like, I don't think I can even juggle 2 balls, let alone 3. Have you ever been on TV? Only if you count people that watch Flosstuber on the big screen. Favorite swear word? Oh. Do I say it or do I say it censored? I'll say it censored. My favorite is the F word. Yes. I told you I curse like a sailor, and that's my favorite word. It's very versatile. And again, I respect people for not finding the worth or entertainment in colorful language. I would just ask that those same people respect my thinking of it. But again, it's no skin off my teeth to put the filter in place for people who would find it offensive. I don't mind. I grew up in a household that did not believe in swearing. I understand a lot of the reasoning behind it. It's just not something I subscribe to. How many pillows do you sleep with? Just one and sometimes none. I have a really bad neck from a car accident when I was 19. Whiplash that never quite healed right. And I have to be really careful. I actually have to use I bought my son one of those like character pillows that are really long, like kind of a body pillow for a kid, I guess. But they're super thin. They're like $10 at Walmart. And found that I was actually more comfortable sleeping on that than a regular pillow. So my pillow is a Paw Patrol pillow. Yeah. And sometimes even that's too thick and I will shove that out of the way and just sleep on my back with no pillow. Have you ever been featured in the news? Not me individually, but the marching band I was in, our local news ran, you know, parade stories and stuff like that, parades we were in, so you know, that kind of stuff I would have been in. Can you stand on one foot for an entire minute? Nope. I will fall over. I am clumsy. I remember in like kindergarten, they administered balance tests then, and I couldn't do it then either. So it's not something that has developed. It's just something I've never been able to do. Do not have, and I get vertigo pretty easily. So I don't like standing near the edge of things because, yeah, I will get vertigo and I will fall to my death. And yeah, let's not do that today. Can you impersonate someone famous? Nope. Although my oldest may say that I can impersonate a singer. Or, like, okay. Anybody remember the movie Annie? Like, the probably 80s movie with, yeah, I don't know her name. I don't know any of the kids' names that was in it. Or even, like, Daddy Warbucks, or I can't remember. But they did Annie for their school play last year, and I like busted out in song for It's a Hard Knock Life, and my oldest just cracked up laughing. I was like, is it that bad? They're like, you sound exactly like it. I am not singing it, you guys. Don't even ask. They just thought it was hilarious that I sounded like the movie in the song. Can you do 10 revolutions with a hula hoop? Last time I did it, I could. Ask me how old I was. I was young. All right. I gotta get in front of the camera because I can't reach my thread. It fell. Oh, there's the About Me Q&A. What's your full name? Nope. And age. I can tell you my age. I just had a birthday a couple of weeks ago. By the way, thank you for all the birthday wishes in the comments in my last video. Very much appreciated. It was quiet. It was good. Just another day in the neighborhood. But I turned 43. Nothing too exciting. No real milestone this year. Just boring 43. And inside, I am still 19 years old, I swear. Okay, my love of unicorns, sometimes I'm still a 12-year-old girl at heart, right? Do you eat meat? Oh, yes, I do. I tried to go vegetarian once. I recognize that there is issues with our meat industry and that a lot of the animals that we eat are intelligent, but I also believe that we were built for meat. And I am not okay with trophy hunting. Sorry, you guys couldn't even see what I was doing. I'm not okay with trophy hunting at all. Oops, I just pulled my stand apart. Not okay with trophy hunting, but if you use what you kill, then I'm much better with it. A lot of shuffling here. What's your birthday? September 18th. What star sign are you? I'm a Virgo. Yep. I don't know as much about it as Stitching Moon, but I found that the like the descriptors and stuff for your influences and like what your personality might be, it was always very, very dead on for me when it came to Virgo. So coincidence or not, I found it entertaining enough to... It's entertaining for me. We'll leave it at that. What's your favorite color? Normally I'd say blue, but I think lately it's been a toss-up between blue, pink, purple, and like the combination of blue, pink, purple, and black is my favorite color combination, like galaxy colors. And blue and purple are very close relatives of each other, and I think I love them equally, really, when it comes down to it. What's your lucky number? Don't have one. I like my birthday date of 18, but I don't really have a lucky number. Do you have pets? Yes. I've talked about them every once in a while. I've got my Dodger, my dog. He's a pit bull mix of some sort, but he's aging. He's 12 or 13 now. And he's starting to show it. He's been my buddy through a lot of things. He saw me through my divorce, and yeah, he's my goofy companion. I will be sad when the day comes to see him cross the Rainbow Bridge. And then we have my father-in-law's cats are in the house with us as well. Stella and Spooky. Stella's younger. I think she's like 4 or 5 now. And Spooky's like a 15 or 16-year-old barn cat. He is old and blind and deaf and sweet as can be. Toothless. He has molars. That's about it. Where are you from? I grew up in Springfield, which is about halfway between Dayton, Ohio, and Columbus, Ohio. So I think most people in the U.S. would be mildly familiar with both of those cities. What's your height? I am 5'3" on a good day. 5'3.5", somewhere around there. Not super tall. My husband towers over me. I barely come up to his armpits. What's your shoe size? Giant. I have big feet for my height. I wear anywhere from a 9.5 to a 10.5. It really just depends on the style of shoe. But 9.5 is pretty typical shoe size for me. I'm not sure that is in European sizing. What's your favorite public transport? Train. Yeah. Probably train. I've flown once. Oh, I mean, I've flown a couple of times, but like within a very short period of time. I've taken the train once. I've taken the bus once. I've taken the subway once. I have never been in a taxi. No. I lied. I took a taxi home once in my 20s. I went to a bar with some girlfriends, and ended up not caring for some of the behavior that was happening while we were there. So I didn't drive. So I had the bartender call me a cab and took a cab home. What other public forms of transport are there? I mean, Ubers and things like that kind of count as taxis, even though they're private vehicles. I feel like I'm forgetting one. Bus, plane, subway, taxi. Yeah, I think out of all those, the train would probably be. Probably because I could get, if I really wanted to, I could get a private room on a train and not have to people and be less public-y. But I really don't care for public transportation. Probably why I've only ever done most of those once. Why I prefer to drive where I can. Now, next year I'll be driving to Canada. It's only about a 6.5-hour drive where I'm going. And then I'm flying to Japan in June. Yes, June. So that's going to be very exciting. What talents do you have? It's a terrible question. I don't know. Nothing like overtly identifiable by myself. I was never in any talent shows when I was in school. Because I don't think I had any talents that were worthwhile to anybody else. I think these questions are starting to get into the more philosophical range. So I think I'm going to finish this thread and call it a night. Try and get some sleep because I am actually starting to feel a little sleepy. I'm excited. I mean, it's 1:45. So I should hope that I start winding down finally at the end of the day. I'm going to have to dig into my alarms and do some adjusting so that I can try and have some, well, see, people are going to start showing up tomorrow even more than what we've got, just the one hanger. One guest at our campsite right now. I don't know how much of a schedule I'll be able to actually hold tomorrow. But I still don't want to sleep all day. And I may need to, I'll probably have to be the one to go get my stepson from school. Because I know my husband's going to be busy getting everything set up and ready for the weekend. Wednesday is pretty much go time for him as far as, he kind of gets things prepped and ready to go and, starting to set up here and there on Monday and Tuesday. But Wednesday comes and he's like full blown, like gotta get it done kind of mode. But I hope this video found you good stitching time and yeah, that I could keep you a little bit of company while you were doing whatever you were doing. I'm totally up for suggestions on these Stitch With Me guys. Like I said, I do want to try and I wouldn't mind doing a video a week, especially if I'm not like pressuring myself to do an actual Flosstuber update every week. Especially I think with this new schedule, like I sort of talked about last week, I'm not getting as many stitches in. This is the most I've stitched. Probably in about a week. I've been hitting like 300 stitches a day. It's been kind of sad, but it is what it is. Getting other stuff done, which is fine. But yeah, this is this is also me time. This is, I make these videos, really, it started off for me. I mean, I do make them for you too, and you're definitely motivating me to keep making them, and I want you to enjoy them. But this is definitely like a way for me to feel a little bit more connected to the world. Because I'm home like 24/7. 24/7, 52. So I would like to also be, you know, something that if you're taking the time out of your day to spend some of it with me, I want to make it something that you're happy to be doing, that it's not like, well, I mean, I'm sure if you found it a chore, you would switch off. So, but I definitely appreciate all of you stopping in. And where's the hole? Where'd it go? There we go. Yeah. If you're down south, definitely stay safe. You know, get to high ground if you need to. It's just stuff. I know that's easy to say for somebody not in the path, but you are definitely not replaceable. And even stuff that is irreplaceable, like, you know, pictures and things like that that get destroyed in storms like that, if you're not here to make more memories, then, you know, that stuff wasn't worth it having to begin with. So, just be careful if you're in that path. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week as well. Get some relaxing time in. Make sure to take some time out for yourself as well. I'm assuming if you're watching this, that's exactly what you're doing. But yeah. And again, guys, if you have any questions, you know, or think of any questions that might be a little more interesting to hear me chatter on about, feel free to leave those down in the comment section below. I will link Julalak in the description box to check her out as well. If you enjoy a quiet stitch with me now and then. I think I will leave my description box a little emptier this time around. So what is that? 6 times 7. Oh, that's not one I ever memorized. I don't know. 6 times 70 is what we hit stitches wise today, guys. Now keep in mind it's block stitching, so it goes fast. All right. Yeah, I should be back for an actual regular update next Tuesday. So assuming all goes well, I will post that on Wednesday, or it'll be up on Wednesday. Yeah, in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your week and take care. Bye, guys.